Okay, so last class we discussed SDLC process, software development life cycle. Okay, and today we'll discuss requirement traceability matrix. So requirement traceability matrix is nothing but like if you the by name itself, if you see requirement traceability, like we will be tracing the our requirement. We will be mapping our requirement, whatever the requirements will be there. So we will be matching our test case with the requirement. Okay, so whether like we have created all test case for the each and every requirement or not, like that is the requirement testability matrix. So a requirement testability matrix is a document that maps and traces user requirement with the test case. User requirement means the sense client requirement. Whatever the requirement you will get, will map each and every requirement with our created test case so that any of the requirement is not left out, and like we have covered all test case for all requirement. So that is the use of requirement traceability matrix to make it confirm that whether we have covered all requirement for all requirement, we have covered all test case. Okay, so at least one requirement, one test case is there. So that is the use of requirement traceability matrix. It captures all requirement proposed by the client and requirement traceability in a single document. Okay, so the document will be something like this. Okay, requirement descriptions will be there, and how many test cases you have created for this requirement. The requirement numbers will be there. First requirement numbers will be there, and then requirement descriptions will be there, and then how many test cases you have covered for the this requirement, and what is the status of that those requirement, whether it's a pass or fail, any defect, all these things. Okay, so like this, we are going to prepare a requirement traceability matrix document. Okay, either in a Excel or in a Word document you can prepare. It captures all requirement for processed by the client and requirement traceability in a single document delivered at the conclusion of the software development lifecycle. The main purpose of requirement traceability matrix is to validate that all requirements are checked by a test cases such that no functionality is unchecked during software testing. Means no, or like when we create test case, there should be no requirement should be left out. All requirements will be covered, or like we have created all test case for all the requirement. That is the meaning of the requirement testability matrix. Which parameter to include in requirement testability matrix document? Requirement ID, requirement type and description, test case and its status. Okay, so this is what we have, the requirement testability matrix. It's all easy. Any question? Any question?
No, sir.
Okay, so next one is software testing life cycle. This is important for the testers. Okay, so we are a, ETL tester, and software testing life cycle are important. So STLC, what is the meaning of software testing life cycle? Short form is STLC. STLC stand for software testing life cycle. STLC is a sequence of different activities performed by the testing team to ensure the quality of the software or the product. Okay, quality of the product, software. So what are the activity you will be performing while testing? Okay, so whether you are a manual tester or a ETL tester or automation tester, so you have to follow the STLC rules only, like the set of rules how you are going to validate the software. Okay, so the rules will be same for the all the people. One is like somewhere the method will change, like somewhere. The process will be different in each and every project. Okay, so but the method will be same for the software testing life cycle. whatever the things you are going to listen here, the same thing you have to follow it there also. SDLC is a sequence of different activity performed by the testing team to ensure the quality of the software of the product. SDLC deals only with the testing phases. So only the testing related activity you will be doing in SDLC. SDLC start as soon as requirements are defined or software requirement document is shared by the stakeholder. So once you will receive this your requirement from the client or from the product manager, product owner, you will be start with the STLC process. You immediately whatever the actions you will perform once you will receive the requirement, that will be as a part of STLC only. Okay. In the early stage of STLC, while the software or the product is developing, the tester can analyze and define the scope of testing, entry and exit criteria, and also the test cases. It helps to reduce the test case cycle time along with the better quality. So what are the phases will come in STLC? Your requirement analysis. Consider that you have received a client. Consider you are working in an IBM company in one of the project. Okay, one of the project you are working in an IBM company. So IBM company is having Citibank as a client. Okay, so Citibank given one Japan country, like we have a one country Japan. So for that we have to add in our data warehouse. Okay, in existing data warehouse we have to add this Japan country also, because we opened 5 branches there and all operations are open. So we are receiving multiple data. So please let us know. Please find the requirement. So they will provide the requirement. You will go through the requirement. You developers and other people will go through the requirement. Developer will do their development. So that is the SDLC, software development life cycle. But software testing life cycle will be what? You will go through, testers will go through the requirement. Then based on the requirement, based on their understanding of the requirement, you will do the test planning. Okay. Then after test planning, once you will understand all the aspects of the requirement and you plan it accordingly, how we are going to complete. Okay, the test case development will be there. Test case development will be there. Test environment setup will be there. Test execution will be there. Okay, and test cycle closure will be there. So what is the meaning of test case development? So according to the requirement, you will write the test case. Test environment setup in the sense once you're done with the test case and any like environment in the sense, we worked in a HR schema or like core schema or like a test environment, a development environment, or any other environment. So they will have multiple environment in the database or in Informatica. So those environment details they will share you. You have to set up in a database or you have to set up in a Informatica this test environment. Then you will do test execution. Once the environment will be done, then you will start with the test execution. If you will find any defect and all, you will raise it, you will close it, you will retest it once it will be fixed. Then all test cases are passed or like it's all done. Then you will make a test cycle closure report. Okay. So this is the pictorial diagram. Okay. So each of these stage has a definitely entry and exit criteria, activity, and deliverables associated with it. Okay, so each and every steps you have to follow it properly, like requirement understanding, test planning, test case development, environment setup, test execution, test cycle closure. All these things, it will be is a part of the your testing activity. Okay, what is entry and exit criteria in STLC? Okay, entry criteria give the prerequisite item that must be completed before testing can begin. Okay, once you start your testing, Before that, some setup should be done, like your environment should be like your environment details should be there, and you have added the schema, or you have set the environment Informatica or whatever the tools you have. So environment is up for the before we start testing. Okay, before we start testing, that is the entry criteria. And before I start entry, also you can check sanity testing, like whether required tables are loaded with the data or not. Like source table is loaded with the data or not. Whether like if I run the Informatica tool, it should be loaded. The data should be loaded to the target table. So those are the things you can check in the entry criteria. Next one is that exit criteria. Exit criteria, what it defines. Uh, so once you have started executing test case, okay, and you reach some 90%, 95% to 100% of tests you have passed your test case. 100% of test case you have passed. So that is the exit criteria. Okay, your all test case should be passed properly. Okay, if any defect is there, it should be closed. So that is the exit criteria for the your exit criteria for the testing to be concluded. Okay, to make it exit criteria, like you can exit the testing for that requirement. So next one is like smoke sanity and smoke testing. So smoke testing has a goal to verify stability, whereas sanity testing has the goal to verify the rationality. Smoke testing is done by both developers and tester, whereas sanity testing is done by the testers. Okay. Smoke testing verifies the critical functionality of the system, where sanity testing verifies the new functionality like bug fixes. Smoke testing is a subset of acceptance testing, whereas sanity testing is a subset of regression testing. Smoke testing is documented or scripted, whereas sanity testing is not. Smoke testing verifies the entire system from end to end. Okay, whereas sanity testing verify only the particular component. Okay, so this is what the difference will be there. Uh, Smoke testing is software testing techniques performed by post software build to verify that critical functionality of the software are working fine. So this is very important. Nowadays, they started asking smoke testing and sanity testing. Just remember this point. Okay, it is executed before any detailed functional or regression tests are executed. So, before you start your testing, you will do one round of smoke testing to check that whether like the major functionality is working or not. Okay, before you start your testing. Okay, so big functionality like the major part of the requirement is working or not. So those things you will check, and I like this one. The main purpose of a smoke testing is to reject a software application with defect so that QA team does not waste time testing broken software application. Consider that one software developers has developed. Okay, and you got okay with the testing. Okay, you can start your testing. So first of all, what you will do, you will check your tables, your main tables, like your source table is having data or not. Okay, your source table is having data or not, or you will check the whether like you are able to run Informatica workflow or not. So those are the things you will check before you load the data, and those are the functionality should be checked in starting only, so that you will not waste more time. Consider that one day or 2 days later, one day you have checked data types. Okay, data types are matching. Okay, then count also you check matching. But meanwhile, like some major functionality is not working. So that time you will feel that, oh, okay, I should test 2 days back only, so that like in the starting only this issue could be resolved in the starting only. So like that, you will do smoke testing. Sanity testing is what? Sanity testing is a kind of software testing performed after receiving a software build with minor changes in a code or functionality to ascertain to ascertain that the bugs have been fixed and no further issue are introduced due to these changes. Okay. The goal is to determine that the proposed proposed functionality works roughly as expected. If sanity test fails, okay, the build is rejected to save the time and cost involved in the more rigorous testing. Okay, so sanity testing, like you will do basic checks. Okay, basic checks when you receive the build or the code you will receive from the this thing. Like when we run the workflow, we are checking whether our target data is loaded or not. So those are the things they're part of sanity testing. So this is some key differences. You can read it. If you will not, if you'll find difficulties to understand, then go through the Google also. Okay? Go through the Google also. So how does sanity testing will work? Code, unit testing, integration testing, sanity testing, smoke testing, functional testing. Okay. I feel like we have less people. Okay, so let's do one thing. We'll connect on Friday only. Okay. This whole concept I have explained. We'll take it up from the fifth one. Generally, 25, 30 people will be there. So today we have five, six people only in a call. So we'll start from the Friday only. Okay. Saturday we'll finish that. Saturday I will explain the project. Okay. Or like Friday we'll explain the project. And any of the weekdays I'll explain this manual testing and ALM. Okay. So Friday will be completing your project. Will be explaining your project architecture and what you how you are going to face in an interview. So same thing I'm going to explain on a Friday. Okay. So just attend on a Friday. We'll make it proper things. Okay. Okay, guys.